Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon.
Hi, Ashok. Good afternoon.
Hi, Supriya. Good afternoon. Good to see you.
Good to see
Very
you.
long time.
Can you see me? Just a minute. Let me.
Um, Let me see if I can.
I think I can share my video.
Can you try now?
Just a minute. No, still I'm not able to.
I'll make you host, and
Okay.
then you can.
Yeah, now I can.
I can see you now. Good. Congratulations. I'll start with that.
Thank you so much.
I realized that you sent a message long before in 2021 saying you got your first job. I missed that. Only I got the BCG one. So it's good. I guess this is already live streamed. We are live. We have people in other channels as well. I think LinkedIn also joined. Yeah. All right. So the stage is all you, and the goal of this one is to um, there are a lot of aspirants across not only DataMites students, a lot of people who wants to get into data science, mostly because it's cool, it's a buzzword, and pays a lot of money. And there is a lot of marketing happening, and there are people putting huge amounts. So the initiative we have taken is to know from the people who are working on the ground, uh, how is this work, and the career, future growth, the kind of work, and also guide them, aspirants, how to actually to transition to this career, right? So we'll start. I mean, I'll leave it to you. You can start with open like about your profile, and then we can take it from there.
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with from where I started. So I actually have done my engineering in mechanical field, and then I landed into software testing job. And like it was like I would say I was not enjoying that work so much. So I felt like let's do something. So I started searching the options, and then I came across data science field. So I was searching for different institutions, and in Bangalore, I found the only institution that gives like thorough classes on data science. That is DataMites, and it was a bit far for me. Like I used to travel 3 hours, like one way, and 3 hours like the other way. So on weekend.
Oh, okay. Where do
Yeah.
you stay?
So I found a class, and then yeah, it was really nice. The way you were teaching.
You have traveled 5 hours approximately every day to attend classroom training in DataMites.
Yes, yes, that's
When
right.
was it? Which year?
I would say 2019 to 2020. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so I'm glad that it paid. That was quite a travel then. Okay, go ahead.
So, so that's how I ended into data science, learning about it and the way you were teaching and the projects, especially the projects that were assigned, that helped me a lot in terms of like how data cleaning works, how model building works. So all those things helped me a lot. So yeah, so that's how my journey started into data science.
So your first job was in 20. Oh, well, you did your course with DataMites in 2019, and then your first job was in 2020, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay, all right, and that was a data scientist job as well.
yes, that's right.
Okay, please go ahead. So.
So after my engineering, I started with software testing, and I switched my domain into data science after doing a course with DataMites. Then yeah, so initially I would say it was like not that easy because I come from a non-programming background, but I would say it's not that difficult as well. So if you like put in a little bit of effort and try to understand the things and do some research, it's not that difficult to survive in data science field. Yeah, that's what I believe in.
Wonderful. Okay. And then you worked in this company. Which company was your first data science job?
Yeah, it was in ergonomy software services, so
Mhm.
mostly into Middle East and retail domain.
Okay.
So yeah,
You worked with this company for how many years?
around 2 years,
4 years.
2 years.
2 years, sorry. Okay. So 2020, right? So 2 years.
Yes.
All right. And it was into retail. So what was your work like there?
Yeah, it was like my first project. Actually, it was very interesting. Like it was a market basket analysis project wherein we find out the synergies between the products. So how we get the recommendation on Amazon, right? So that's how like you get to understand the real life scenarios. So it was very interesting project. So that's what that yeah.
Okay, so used classic a priori kind of algorithm or use deep
Yes,
learning models,
a priori algorithm.
and maybe you customize it for the particular purposes, right?
Yes, yes.
And then,
Yeah, so after that, my another project, it was on time series forecasting. We had to forecast the sales for retail client. So that was also a very interesting project. Yeah, so my data science career started with an interesting project that is market basket.
that's very good. Lucky of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, why do you want? I mean, you right now you're with BCG, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, that got my attention because I'm a big fan of this. BCG. I can see BCG. I read a lot of reports. Back in Europe, I worked with BCG as my client, but I always wanted to get join BCG as a consultant, which didn't happen. I became an entrepreneur too early, but but BCG was one of my dream company. I'm very glad that you landed in BCG as a data scientist. How did that happen? What was your transition? How did you transition to BCG?
Yeah, so basically, when I started searching for job, like recently, in the month of like November, January, so I started searching job. So I got a call from BCG, and it was like the interview process. It was like right from the basics. Like he asked me few things from my 10th standard as well, like few. Yeah, it was arithmetic progression, harmonic progression, and all those things. So you should be very clear with your basics when you want to crack such big companies like BCG. So that's one part of it. And then the kind of work that you did in your previous companies and a little bit of programming language. I would say whatever like I would like to suggest to people who are trying to search job in the data science that like you should not be like very fluent in programming. You should know how to implement things. That's it. So you need not reinvent the wheel. Everything is already there. You should know like how do we implement into the project. That's the thing. Yeah.
And the things are changing so fast. We are getting more GUI tools now. We don't really have to write a piece of code, at
Yes.
least not for implementation perspective. That's got
That's
very even a bit of code you write, you have Chat GPT. I
right.
I just write write a ML code for fitting this. It writes pretty fluently. It's almost like you do it like a standard template, isn't it?
Yes.
But yes, a bit of programming is necessary as fundamentals are good. But okay, I'm more interested. Boston Consulting Group as a company
Mhm.
is renowned as one of the top four think tanks in the world, right? Including McKinsey.
Mhm.
So you said that, of course, they test your school knowledge as well. I am aware of it. That's how they do. Apart from that, what are the other things you think? If I know you already been a data scientist for 2 years, now you have moved into one of the big companies in the world, top four, I would say, for from a think tank perspective. Um, if someone who is already a data scientist, there are, I think, thousands of people from DataMites. We're working as a data scientist in many different companies. For them, I think your story is more inspiring for the existing data scientists who want to get into the next level. So, what do you think they should do? How did you did it, and what's the approach to get into the next level?
Yeah, so I would say learning is the only key. You should keep on learning new things and continuously progressing in your skill set. So I would say like when I started my career, I just started with like Python, SQL, and time series projects. But apart from that, like I have learned big data as well. So these are the few things that you should know to be a core data scientist. You should know right from the data cleaning right from the data extraction till the modeling deployment. So I would say learning is the only key.
And fundamentals is really important.
Yes, you should be very clear with your fundamentals and basics.
So it reinstates, reassures the age-old thinking. So in the changing world, like you see that AI and data science and and this ML, these fields are changing really fast.
Yes.
And most of the nitty-gritties are getting abstracted. So you really don't have to worry about big data basics. You need to have basics, but you don't have to worry about implementing the basics because the platforms abstracted it, right? You really don't have to worry about too much about how a complex deep learning algorithm works. Well, you need to know it for your first job. That's required because would like to test that. But in your practical work, you need to be more worried about how can I fine tune or how can I adapt an algorithm for the business purpose, and then how to essentially how do I get this business problem solved? Isn't it? We are getting into more business side than the more technical side. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I would say I agree with you 100% because like the current project that I'm doing, it's more on that. Like I'm using bot topic for that project, and like you should know how do we implement that a particular model for your requirement. So you should understand the business first, and you should know like what should be the key outcome of that, and based on that you should be able to implement the things. So it's not the thing that you should know each and everything of the programming and the models and all, but you should know how do we apply it in the real life scenario. So that's what I believe in.
Right. So you said you're working with BERT. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So mostly you're working with the natural language processing
Right.
model.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. So is ChatGPT not helping you?
ChatGPT, we are still trying and testing. Let's see.
So everyone is moving towards it now.
Yeah.
I actually just want to share this. I was asking someone to send a report, my own teammate.
Mhm.
Suddenly, I find the report is to be very nice. I mean, normally this guy don't send it that way. Then I
Okay.
got a doubt. Maybe he used ChatGPT. So I just put the same question I asked him in the ChatGPT. The reply was matching, more or less the same. So even even people are writing emails, sending reports, everything they're going towards ChatGPT, making us really redundant. No one is thinking nowadays.
Yes.
See, then it finally brings out that the people who shine in the career are the people who ask right questions, because the answers, you have it everywhere. And even in your project, if you have a problem statement from your client, what's more important is how, what right question can get you the answer. If you have the right question, then we have many tools to make it
Right.
work.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking about myself. So again, so how did you? So if you maybe tips towards, you already said many times. So fundamentals are important, and then you said keep your learning coefficient. That's again very important nowadays. So we test people who are willing to learn, right? So because we always get new things, the people who can learn better. Smartness is one thing, right? Willing to learn is a completely different thing. You might be a very smart person, but are you willing to learn? And are you not just willing, do you have the habit of learning continuously, is what is being tested in the market, because those are the employees who can actually contribute better to the organization.
Yeah, that's the key question that they asked in the interview. Even though I did not work in NLP, like I only a few POCs I did in my last companies, but also they were like they hired me because I showed interest toward learning new things. So yeah.
Wonderful. And let's see, what could be suggest. So I have seen myself a lot of change from I delivered my first data science project in 2016. So I'm one of the first. I mean, we did call it as analytics when we started the project. When it ended, we closed it as a data science project. So I was in the transition of from analytics to a data science kind of project. From there till now, I have seen a lot of changes. I would like to know from your perspective, you started your career in 2020 as a data scientist. Now you are working as a data scientist for one of the top 4 companies in the world from a data science perspective. How did you see this field changing?
Yeah, so I would say initially the things were like as we can see today in now today's world, we can see the ChatGPT and fewer automation techniques coming up. So it is making our life easy in today's world. But I would say 3 or 4 years back, that was not the case. That you should be knowing each and every concept and the core of the models and all. So yeah, that's how it's changing.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, it's very true. I agree with you. In the initial days, people were calling data scientists as unicorns, if you remember those. Nowadays, we are not calling as unicorns.
Yeah.
That's because we were expected to do everything from data collection till the model deployment. Now we are focused on solving the key problem. And we have people from, I don't know, we have data engineers, and the entire organization is now geared towards data science project. The data strategy, the availability of the data. There are people who are specifically called as data engineers or related fields who help you with the data. And there are people who will take it from you to deploy it. You're not worried about deploying. You're focused on solving the business problem.
Yes.
So that's exactly what data science is supposed to do. And now it's been a matured field now, and we are more focused on implementing all the tools and techniques we have available in the market, exploring new things as well, try to solve the business problem.
Yeah, I agree.
That's actually making more job interesting. Is your first job interesting or your current job interesting for you?
I would say my first job I would never forget, because like my first project itself, like you will get to know how the real life things are working, like the Amazon recommendations. So yeah, that's the project that I got to work on, like how recommendation are built. So yeah.
Okay, so your current job, what exactly you do? Currently, you said you're working with Bird, right?
Yeah. So basically, I'm working on ticket classification by using natural. It's into topic model. So mostly we are using BERT for that.
Oh, wonderful. So we did a very similar for Cisco. It's not ticket classification; it's a bug classification. What we did.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's similar. Very good. Okay. Let me see. So I have a lot of questions from different channels. I will take the questions. Before that, do you have any final notes to the people, and then we jump into the questions? Supriya?
Yeah, so the only thing I wanted to say is there should not be a fear like it's difficult. It's not that difficult. Obviously, there are few things like mathematics, statistics, and all you need to learn, but you should not be worried about it. Just give it a try and it will work out. So it's not like you can't do it. You can definitely do it, but you should put in your 100%. That's it.
Okay, wonderful. So actually, it's very true. Actually, I've trained nearly. I mean, I've been doing it for 2017. So I have trained easily 15,000 plus aspirants. I know some people who joined the course who already know data science, machine learning, Python as well, still struggling sometimes, right? And I know people who have absolutely no knowledge about any programming. They cracked and become a data scientist in less than 6 months.
Yeah.
So I have seen this, and I would come back and I would say what you said is correct. It's about the attitude and the approach you take towards the field, not your existing prior knowledge. And anyone with any background can become a data scientist. It's just that you need to be more open towards learning things and be very humble. In fact, a lot of companies are now giving more importance to attitude and, of course, your current skills, but attitude and the learning skills. Data science is really not a rocket science. It became more it become more easy, I would say, not exaggerating it, because initially we were doing a lot of heavy lifting, but now the modules are more matured. We have a lot of community to help you if there is an error or if you need a guidance, and the field itself got more matured.
Yeah, and lots of new automation tools are coming up. So yeah.
Correct. And then the opportunities are really, really high. It is huge. And so a lot of people go to this field for salaries. I think most of people actually come to data science for higher salaries, which I don't deny. They are highly paid. But I would say you should also look from a work work perspective. It's very interesting. You're solving a problem. It is not like, and I'm not against the software developers, but the logic is already written for them. So that's mostly what they're doing is implementing that. But when it comes to data science, every project is like a problem. It's like your puzzle you're solving. And that makes the work itself very interesting, right? Apart from the high growth and higher salary, the work itself is very interesting. I speak right now talking to Supriya. I've been speaking with many people from this field. Everyone acknowledge that they have a better work. They like their work. Do you? Supriya?
Yeah, I would like to add to your point, and I agree with you. And I would like to add more to the point that like you every day is a new challenge, and you will feel more valued when you're working on such projects. So yeah, I agree.
Self-esteem. I didn't add that. You are a data scientist, you walk to the coffee machine, people say, hey, she is a data scientist. So
Exactly.
that self-esteem also adds to the to you as a great job.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, that's good. Let me see if I have some questions. I'll start with, I would ask DataMites team to copy the question and paste it back in the chat, so that I can pick it up from there. Reclaiming the host. And let me see, I can open up channels for everyone to speak. So I have opened up the chat box in the Zoom, as well as to the panelists and the attendees in this call. And also for DataMites team, can copy paste from other channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube back in here. I'll start with the first question. The question is from Vedanti Jaiv Jaivheri. How much money do you earn? Okay, so this is something which everyone asks. I'm gonna repeat it again, right? See, first thing is it's her information, but I already know that it's somewhere between 8 to 10 lakhs to start with, and now it might be 15, 20 lakhs, right? But what I can tell you is data scientists earn at least 50 to 100% more than the similar IT profiles. That is what you should take away, right? And depends on the organization. If you join a top organization, you might earn 30, 40 lakhs in your first 2 years itself. If you join a service-based company like Infosys or Wipro, you might be in the bracket of 7 to 8, 10 lakhs as a beginner. And then if you have 2 year experience, maybe 10 to 20 lakhs, right? Really depends on the organization. But what is constant is when you compare with the other profession in that organization, like IT professional, with your similar profile, you would be earning at least 50% more. 30 to 50% is what I can tell. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
And one more thing I would like to add, I say it every time, people are only looking at the money. That's okay. I understand that. But let me tell you one thing. Your first salary doesn't matter, because I think Supriya can also say the same, because after 1 or 2 years you work in the company, your employer should be worried about your salary, not you, because you become so valuable, then it's their problem to keep you in that company. So they have to match the industry standard. So your first job, whether it is 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs or even less than that, you should take it, right? You should only look at the kind of job, not the first salary. This webinar, okay, yeah, sure, that's fine, I'll do that. What are the steps to become data scientist? It's a very generic question, Sahab Ali. There is a lot of blogs and stuff, but I would just give you, because you asked. So you have to just start with a structured learning. So Python, statistics, machine learning, and do a lot of projects. And then you start attending interviews. That's straightforward. But if you want detail, you can always drop a message to DataMites folks. I have a question from the panelists. What's the difference? Okay, this is from LinkedIn, from Wadud Ali from LinkedIn user. What's the difference between training we got and the industry project? So his question is whether you have a difference between the projects you do when you're learning and the industry project, and what would be that?
Yeah, I would say it won't be exactly the same, but the structure will remain the same. The projects that we do in the course is like you will get the idea how exactly the real life projects will be. But it depends totally on your company, which company you're joining, the kind of projects you'll be getting. So it depends on the company. I would not say it will be 100% similar, but it will be the outline will be the same. So yeah.
That's true. So I agree with her. Very good. I have a question from YouTube from Yankatesh Kongeri. Says, hello, ma'am. What is important to crack interview? Like soft skills is important or the hard skills is important? Which skill is more important to crack interview? I'll leave
Yeah.
it to you.
So I would say it's not just soft skill and just hard skill. I would say the way you are trying to impress yourself and your attitude is what matters a lot to the interviewer. You have a lot of skills. You are very good in your soft skills and you are very good with your technical skills, but your attitude is not good. You don't want to learn new things. You just want to be stagnant with what you have, and you want to implement the same things. It doesn't work out. So I would say the attitude is the only thing that will help you out.
Okay, perfect. I agree. I agree with Supriya. Just want to add my own experience in as well. I hire a lot of data scientists, not only for my company, for also for my clients. I act like a interviewer panel for them. I also do it for NASSCOM as a part of my job with NASSCOM. I get a lot of profiles. Some have huge projects in it. Like when I say, wow, I mean, this is great. Like this guy is overqualified for this kind of job, is what my perception. When you see the person, you don't feel that he has done the project and most probably has taken out from somewhere, right? When you ask a particular questions about the project, then you'll get a roundabout answer, right? Not from a project experience answer. Those kind of people, rather than that kind, if someone who's just putting things what they have done, right, and give the basic answers and be very humble and shows the learning attitude, an interviewer will be more interested to take him than someone who boosts everything and it doesn't match the profile. So attitude is what matters. Being very genuine and showing the learning attitude and having a good foundation is what is needed. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Ashok. I would say like there are hundreds of things on your resume and you don't know nothing at all. So that doesn't work out. So yeah.
That's true. Should reduce number of things on resume. Actually.
You should know each
Right.
and everything that is there on your resume.
Correct. So yeah, that's the answer for Entesh Kangari. And I have another question from YouTube as well, from Vishal Chauhan. And the question is there any presence of your in Ahmedabad? Okay, it's for DataMites. Yes, we have opened up a center in Ahmedabad. We have a couple of colleagues also joined Ahmedabad, and it just happened last month, I guess. So you can check with DataMites team in Ahmedabad branch, and you can just go and visit. We have colleagues also working full-time in Ahmedabad now, Vishal, okay? And we have opened up about 10 centers across India, including all the top 4 cities in India. All right. So another question from Mayur Dishwatwar, YouTube as well. Hello. How do you see ChatGPT or similar techniques changing the life of data scientists? You can take it, Supriya, and then I'll add it to you.
Yeah. So just because sometimes, as we mentioned, like it has made life very easy, but you can't 100% rely on that particular thing. You should put in your efforts and your views, your thoughts on that algorithm or I would say solution. So it's not just like you have got the tool and you are like your life is easy. You should put in your efforts and your intelligence in order to how you implement in your real life projects or scenarios.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll give you an analogy. Some people are curious about ChatGPT. Some people are afraid of ChatGPT that their jobs will be gone. Right? I already can tell you, content writers are in a great risk because what ChatGPT writes is way better than an average content writer, and it does it for free. So it's going to affect content writers right away, right? But I'll give you one scenario. Like people are always scared about technology disruption, right? If you go back 1970s, right, when the computers were invented, a lot of people in the banks were really worried because there are a lot of type, the people who type, there's a lot of people, because if you want to print type document, there should be a typewriter, right? The person who actually types things. And they are very scared that their jobs will be gone. But it didn't happen. So basically, they were trained as a data entry operators. They do the same thing, but they do in a more volume using a better system, right? And they don't have to repeat the same thing because once you type it, you can print it 10 times. So what happened to them? They become clerks. They become a better job, right? And then whenever you see a technology coming in, it always betters the human lives. You have to reskill yourself. And the fear that you lose your job is not really true, because if you look back to history, technology never actually permanently damaged any jobs. It basically reskilled them. So when the chat GPT is coming, the content writers, as I can tell you, as a given example, I know a lot of other companies also, like especially companies who depend on the social media and other things, they need a lot of content per day. They have 20 people, let's say. After chat GPT, they might only need 5 or even less, because you don't have to write the entire content. You just have to proofread and just customize a little. So if you want to write one article, it takes an hour. With chat GPT, it takes 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Well, the 15 people are let go. That's true. But they're going to learn better skills and rejoin other company, and they do a better work. Rather than writing the entire article, they will be proofreading it and modifying it for their purpose. So to answer your question, technologies impact jobs in a short term, but in a long term, you get better. You reskill yourself and you get better. So that's how the chat GPT is going to work as well. It's the similar manner. Thank you. So I have another question from Deena Dayala Sharma from YouTube. I'm a mechanical engineering engineer to data science. I wanted to move to data science. How to start my career? Okay, so he's from mechanical engineering to data science. How to start my career, Supriya?
Yeah, so I can relate to the question. I'm also from a mechanical background and with no knowledge of programming. So trust me, if you are a mechanical engineer, you can be anything. So a lot of mathematics and mathematics you will be learning, mathematics and physics you will be learning in your engineering. So that skill set will help you a lot in your data science career, because a lot of mathematics and statistics you need to implement in your projects. So yeah, so that's the basic thing I would say. And to start your career with, you should start with Python and basics of Python and SQL. That will help you out. So yeah.
Okay. Not only Supriya, I think we have so many people, hundreds at least, shift from mechanical to data science through DataMites. So you can get also their references for your motivation. But I can tell you, that's becoming more and more common now. I see more mechanical engineers are becoming data scientists. So
that's the reason. The reason behind it is like mechanical engineers
mathematics.
is mathematics. So.
Correct. That's the same thing I get from other people as well. I have a question from Safian. What is the career scope for someone who has 8+ years of experience and in a team lead position? What will be the right course? Is it data analyst, data scientist? I always receive poles apart answers. Could you guide me? Do you want me to take that, Supriya?
Yeah, first you start.
You go ahead first. What do you think? 8+ years experience as a team lead. What do you think? Data analyst, data scientist?
I would say it's not the designation that you should be worried about. If you want to work more towards the business kind of thing, you should start with data analyst maybe. Yeah, so that's what I think.
Okay, so data analyst, data scientist, more or less the purpose is same. It's just that data scientist uses machine learning and AI kind of the tools, more advanced. Data analysts use traditional methods, including BI tools like Tableau and stuff, right? So if you're 8+ year of experience, like most people who are moving to data science are around 5 to 10 years. They're pretty, that you're in the same bracket, right? So you're not restarting your career. Everything you've done as a team lead will still apply, but maybe you're leading the data science team here. That would be the difference. Maybe you should do 1 or 2 projects hands-on, then you move into the team lead very quickly in that particular area. Data analyst, a data scientist, both are open to you. I would personally suggest data scientist because that's what's happening. I have a question from LinkedIn, Minal Balgat from LinkedIn. Is it necessary ML and DI you should have good knowledge of both for a fresher job? Because I have a little difficulty to do project in deep learning.
Yeah, I would say like you should not be worried about the deep learning. As in you will start your work, you will get to know more about the deep learning techniques and all. But to start with, ML is good. So you can start your career with machine learning, and then eventually you will get to learn the things about the deep learning. And it's not the rocket science. Again, I'm telling you should if you put in some efforts, you should be able to understand it. So yeah, to start with, ML is good.
Okay, so deep learning is not necessary. I can tell you directly. Okay, so ML is good enough for most of the purpose. Okay, let me just put my charger. Okay. I have a lot of questions from other channels, but let me focus on the questions which webinar people are asking here. We have over 12 now. I have a question from Hari. How much depth knowledge on statistics is required implemented on a day-to-day job as experienced data science professional?
I would say you should be your basics should be clear in mathematics and statistics, because like whenever you're using models and trying to implement it, you should know what exactly is behind that model. Like coding and all, you will learn, you'll get so many things out, but you should know what exactly is there behind that algorithm and the core of that algorithm. So yes, mathematics and statistics is very important.
Yeah. So question is the depth knowledge of statistics is required?
I would say to start with, I would say if your basics are clear, you should be good to start with.
A question from Dominic Mio says, hello, I like the data scientist thing, but I really fear because I have no real IT background. So you are not alone in the world to do that.
Yeah.
I only use products developed by IT teams for data analysis. Okay, so, all right. So do you think I can make it, Supriya?
Yeah, definitely, because anyone can be a data scientist if you show a right attitude towards learning and put in some efforts. As anyone can be a data scientist.
Right. So to add to that, you are already data analysis. So you are at the receiving end, you know how to do it. You just have to learn a few more things, stats, bit of Python and machine learning. So you should be good. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
little bit of upskilling and should be good.
Yeah. So a question from Shahabab, is data scientist also as good as data analyst? Also a good, oh, okay. So is data scientist also a good data analyst? Yes, of course. Data analyst is a part of, is a role of data scientist. I just say yes to it. A question from Abdul Jalil. The question is why any company would hire him or her as a fresher without computer science degree, just based on. So I hire, so I can answer as an employer, right? Not as a trainer, but as an employer. I'll give you, there are many reasons. I'll give you 3 reasons. Number 1, computer science degree is not relevant for data science. There's nothing actually relevant. In your computer science, you study microprocessor, this and that. Nothing is actually relevant. So there's a myth that data science is a computer or IT related field. It is not. Of course, it's data related field. Has nothing to do with computer science degree. So that's first point, right? Second, I don't hire people on 3 to 4 months course certificate. No one does it. I hire people based on the skills. It's your work to get that skills into 3 to 6 months of the course. I don't say everyone can get it. So I would say 50-60% actually make it, 40% take more time, maybe in a year, right? So I hire based on the skills, not on your course. And to my experience, 6 months is good enough time to get that enough skills. And the third thing, as a fresher, you said, I hire freshers because they are more curious, more enthusiastic, and they come with my budget. If I have a project with 6 people I need 6 people for that. I cannot afford all 6 senior data scientists. Usually I have 1 senior data scientist and then at least 2 to 3 people who are freshers, one at the 1-2 years experience. That is because not just finance is the main part of it, because I need to balance that project finance, right? That's one thing. Second, freshers do a lot of heavy lifting, projects get a lot of shitty work, to be more clear. And freshers actually do it because they are more enthusiastic. They're at the beginning of the career. We can use them for doing a lot of things, right? Data cleaning, for example, is usually done by the freshers. I hope I answered your question. I have a question from Radgo. I have always wanted to get into IT field, and data science has always fascinated me. Okay. What skills do you need to stand out from the other data scientists? How do you look for good paying jobs as well as you finish studying the data science? Can remote working be possible for data science? The 3 questions. As the first question is, what skills do you need to stand out from the other data scientists?
I would say to start with, you should be good with Python and SQL. And if you want to go into visualization, Tableau and Power. So yeah, so that will help, and the machine learning algorithms, of course.
Okay. To add to that, you need to have end-to-end project execution skills. I normally ask open questions. Say, hey, I have this business problem. How do you solve as a data scientist? So you should have a very good hands-on experience in delivering end-to-end projects, even if it's a learning project, but you should have done everything in it. That's what we look at to stand out from the other folks. Well, if you ask a general skill, common sense, I would say. That's even simpler answer. To be a good data scientist, you should have a very good common sense. Common sense is something which you really need as a data scientist.
Yeah, and you should be able to explain what you have done. So then
Presentation, communication, and presentation. Second question, how do you look for a good paying jobs?
If you learn data science, I don't think so that should be a question. So that eventually you will end up into unemployed. So,
You should not look for good paying job to begin the career. After 1 year, good paying jobs will look for you. So you don't have to worry. So yeah, okay. So can remote working be possible for data scientists?
yeah, definitely, because like there is no hardware dependency, and also it's
Yeah. Depends on the company you're working for. Company is happy to provide it. They'll provide it for data scientists as well as the other employees. Right. Okay, I have further questions. So we're gonna wind it up in another 5 minutes. Let's see how much questions we can take. We have a lot many actually. I have a question from. I'm gonna skip the questions from the people who already asked questions. I'll take the new folks. Question from Safar Hazi. Which scientific libraries in Skippy you have worked with in your project? Well, that's like a beginner entry question. So again, let me tell you, it doesn't matter, right? Skippy has a lot of modules. Stat modules is one of them. We use it for all our purposes. For example, if you have ARIMA and seasonal ARIMA and all of the part of your Skippy, and Skippy also has many other scientific modules, right? We use most of that. I use most of that for projects. My team has used it, but no one really worry asking these questions, Safi. Okay. Satish has a question. How freshers friendly is data science? It's very friendly, very, very fresher friendly. We love freshers because yeah, we have a lot of data work. So we like freshers to join our team. Even in computer science computer vision models, we have done many projects. We have hired freshers specifically to annotate the images, because if you look at computer vision, your major work is into annotation. 50% of your project time and effort goes in annotating the images. And that is not done by the 5-10 years experience folks. That is done by the freshers. And that's how you learn. And then you get into the next levels. So freshers, it's actually fresher friendly. You're still called as data scientists, so you still have the tag. You can boost yourself. So yes. I have a question from Abdul. How much important role is there AI for data scientists? Is it necessary to gain AI knowledge? Supriya.
I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat?
So the question is, how important AI is for data scientists?
As in, there are so many things in AI. So what exactly is like computer vision and all?
Yeah. So AI is a very broad field, right? ML is a subset of AI. Data science is predominantly depend on ML, because ML is a major tool for AI. AI, if you're looking at computer vision, NLP, and those kind of things, we don't really use that much in data science modeling. You can use it for other product kind of products. Okay, so I have another 4-5 questions, which seems to be similar. I'm going to ignore that. But any of these others have specific questions, they can repost it. And I have questions from. Okay, so I have a question from Venkata Pratap. So he says, so recently SVB Bank collapsed. Is there an impact of AI? Oh, there any impact for this AI and data science? Okay, I have SAP data migration job. Is it suitable? See, if you have a data profile, then it's really helpful to become a data scientist, because you understand the data, so how the data helpful. If you work in data migration, you understand cleaning of the data, mapping of the data. That's what you do with data. So yes, it really helps you. Regarding SVB bank collapse or any bank or anything collapse, nothing going to happen to AI and data science. In fact, there'll be more jobs, because any collapse is basically showing the weakness of the system or the loopholes in the system, and which is a natural evolution, right? So even coronavirus, a lot of people die sadly, but that's how the evolution happens. So you have the stronger genes moving forward, and any collapse of the company makes the stronger companies to move forward, take that market share. So you don't have to worry about it from that perspective. I have a question from LinkedIn. Adarsha is the name of the author. The question: I completed my data science course. I'm struggling to face interviews. I have a diploma holder with 7 years experience in telecom. My qualification is my drawback, or I don't know why. So he completed and he's struggling to get interviews. And his profile is diploma holder with 7 years experience. You can
honestly, degree, I think it should not be a problem when if you are strong in your like what you have mentioned in your resume and you are able to explain it properly. I don't think so. A degree should be a problem. And you have experience in telecom domain. I think that's a good domain. So there are a lot of data science companies in telecom domain. You should be able to get a job. So just try to apply more like through different I would say platforms. LinkedIn, there is LinkedIn, Naukri. If you're not a special, right? So try to apply more. I think then you should be able to do it.
Yeah, so I agree with Supriya. So recently we have launched, I think it's live. DataMites launched another package for the people who have already completed data science course from other institutes, or maybe they have learned by themselves. But they don't want to repeat the entire learning, but they want to only look at the evaluation part, like whether their skills are ready to the market, and then some projects, and then placement assistance, or maybe giving them more live experience, exposure, internship kind of things. There's a separate package being launched. I don't know the name of it. You get in touch with DataMites and only take that package, which starts with baselining. There is something called as job ready score. We have built a comprehensive framework, which we use not only for DataMites students, but it is now open to outside as well. It doesn't cost you much. I think you should check with them. So that basically evaluates you from a job ready perspective. There is also a mock interview conducted, and they'll give you the entire feedback for you. So approach DataMites for that, and that will give you clarity on where you're lacking. And I agree with Supriya, degree shouldn't be a problem. That I can tell you. Okay. A question from Abdul: how much important role is there? Okay, so I think we answered this. Okay, so that's all. So we have taken more than 45 minutes. So thank you very much for everyone attending this, and maybe final words from Supriya.
So yeah, finally, I would like to say when you are trying to switch into data science, you should be very much worried about how you implement the things, not worried about the technical things. You will eventually learn everything. So yeah, that's it. And you keep a learning attitude alive. Even if you are in a 10-15 years of experience in your career, you should have that attitude. It will help you survive anywhere. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, my final words. I'm very proud of Supriya. She went into the top 4 think tanks, Boston Consulting Group. I wish her a good success within BCG, add significant value to their business, and I appreciate her taking time. Thank her very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.